So, Revolution is tonight. Well, frankly, it's Monday morning, and I'm recording this on a Saturday evening. I don't know when I'm going to put this up, but Revolution is very soon, and we've got a stack card for our first AEW pay-per-view of the year. If you want help on how to watch it this year, let me know in the comments. If you're in the UK, I can provide with, the myaew.com, or also Triller and Amazon, and apparently now DAZN. So there's a lot of avenues, so frankly, there's no excuse to miss out. But we've got a great card, including 0 Hour. Let's go through with it. So, our first match of 0 Hour we're going to talk about is the TBS title match between Willow Nightingale and Lena Cross. Now, this will be Lena Cross's second, frankly, her second singles match in AEW since she signed. Obviously, she's in a tag team with Megan Bayne. Frankly, with Lena Cross, it's hard to comment because we have, at this point, Collision hasn't aired, so we haven't seen her match against Mina Shirakawa. Obviously, she's been in a tag with Megan Bayne, but she hasn't really had much to show there, in my opinion. But the stature, something's there. I don't think she wins here. I think that's quite a solid bet. I think they're not going to have the TBS title dropped on a pre-show. I hope not. But Lena Cross is also doing double duty this evening, as is Willow, as they have a match on the main card. But we'll get onto that later. I think Willow does defend the TBS belt here as a match. I mean, it's hard to comment. I love Willow. Who doesn't? Lena Cross, I couldn't really say. So, hopefully, Willow defends and, something's forward. I hope they make Lena Cross shine, and I hope they do that for tonight for Collision. But either way, this should be entertaining, because Willow always is. So, our second match for 0 Hour is Ricochet's national title 21-man blackjack gauntlet. I don't know what this means. I don't know if it's like a casino gauntlet where they all come out, in basically like 5 or 6s. It's a bit weird to decipher. I've never heard the title before. I think Ricochet, it feels weird that they're doing this and not a singles 1v1 with Jack Perry, so it feels like they're probably going to either have Jack Perry win the belt here or something. I don't know. I think the obvious entries are going to include like Dalton Castle, they've teased. The Outrunners make sense. A bunch of ROH guys, frankly, and that's what I was looking for. I think Juice should be in here, Anthony Bowens. Basically, people that kind of fit in that who aren't on the show already. Could be fun to get some, like, a return here, like a Colton Gunn, maybe, something like that, or Jay White. If Jay White returns here, that'd be insane, but no way. People like that, people we haven't seen in a while, but I feel like you're going to get a lot of comedic guys, frankly. I'd like to see a lot of, frankly, just people who we enjoy. Like, I have, I don't know, would you debut? I don't think you'd re-debut Kyle O'Reilly here. That feels like a guy, who needs to come back. But people like that, I feel like these are the people who, in this area, I assume the Gates of Agony are going to have some presence. Hopefully Toliona and Bishop can't have a presence in the match. That could be fun. But either way, Wardlow being returned here isn't a bad shout. I think that's definitely on the cards. They've been teasing a lot of Wardlow lately. Brian Keith, Big Bill, people like this. It doesn't feel like it's going to be the most star-studded, but if it is, that could be cool. Hopefully we get Nigel McGuinness X-Pop. So, our last match for 0 Hour, and by far the main event of 0 Hour, we're getting Boom and Doom, the back, Big Boom AJ, boom! He's back, and I don't even know who he's facing. I think he's facing Shane Taylor Promotions. I think he's facing the tag of those two. I couldn't even say the names. I don't watch ROH, I'm sorry. Boom and Doom being back is 5 Big Boom. It's fucking peak. I love Big Boom AJ. I don't give a fuck. The Rizzler's going to have to show out. Big Justin's probably going to get hit by a spot. I don't know. I don't fucking know. Is AJ going to win? Is QT Marshall going to turn on him again? I don't know. But the point is, with these matches, I don't really give a shit. The fact that Big Boom AJ's on the card again, people are complaining about, fuck off. He's great. But this is going to be fun. This should be really fun. And frankly, I just like seeing it. It's fucking free for YouTube. It's a pre-show. It's just fun, and honestly, I like AJ. He's entertaining, so I'm not gonna complain. I hope AJ wins, and then you know what? Honestly, if this match wasn't on, you'd have AJ win the national belt, and I'm genuinely not even kidding. That could be a great run, but it could still happen depending on the order. But either way, I'm looking forward to this. Genuinely, I am. So, for our first match on the actual main card, there's no order yet, there's no card full release, so there might even be matches added. I hope not, because this will be outdated. They are doing the trios match of the Dogs, Finley, David Finley, Gabe Kidd, and Clark Connors, versus Darby Allin, Orange Cassidy, and the returning Roddy Strong. This should be fun. I hope this is... The thing is, I've not really been enjoying the build. That's frank truth, as honest I can be. You can watch the videos. I've not been a fan of this build. I was happy that Roddy returned. That was really cool. But, I mean, I'm just kind of happy if, when we get some good David Finley, Clark Connors showcasing, that's what I'm about. But also, I would like this to kind of be the end for for Darby, sorry. Roddy's going to get a show out. Roddy's probably going to get the pin. I think they're going to do that. But either way, I don't know, do you give the Dogs the win? I don't know. If they gave the Dogs the win, I'd have no doubt this isn't over for Darby, and that's what pisses me off. I think Darby should be out of this picture. It's run a bit too dry. We need to do something a bit more with Darby, I feel. But I don't know. Frankly, I don't know. I would like to see a lot of David Finley and Clark Connors in this match. I feel like that's the way to go, and that's how you get more interest. That's my dog, if you can hear that. I'm sorry. But either way, I think this match, if it's Darby, Gabe, Kidd, people like this, it's probably going to be insane. I assume that Shillelagh is going to bounce off Darby's head like a fucking rock. So, either way, that should be entertaining. Regardless if it's a technically great match, which I don't expect it to be, it'll be entertaining, and hopefully it favours both of the group stories. Hopefully something cool with Roddy, because I'm interested in that. Next, we have the Toni Storm versus Marina Shafir match with everyone banned from ringside. Now, I think this match could be a lot bigger deal. I think the stipulation's wrong. Everyone banned from ringside just seems it doesn't seem like it fits. I feel like if you want to build this, because this feud's been building for months, it's fact. Even with they missed the opportunity to strike with the Willow feud with Marina. They could still do that, frankly. But either way, they're doing it now with Toni. They built it highly. I think everyone banned from ringside is kind of a starter point. I think Marina Shafir should get the win here. I do. I think that's the logical call. Gives her a lot more over than she is already, which is insanely over. I think if you get her the win, it continues this feud. I hope this isn't the All-In feud. I really do. But it wouldn't surprise me if it is. I think Marina wins. I think it'll be an entertaining match. I don't think it'll be... It's not going to be match of the night. We all know what's going to be match of the night. But Jesus, I'm looking forward to see how they present Shafir, frankly. I think Toni's already well made. We all know how good Toni is. I just feel like everyone banned from ringside really puts a lot of spotlight on Marina to see how she deals with it. I think she wins. But I want to see her looking impressive, which she has in tag. So hopefully this is a real step forward for her. I've enjoyed Marina Shafir a lot, so that makes sense. I feel like she's really going to impress a lot of people. So next, we have the AEW Trios Belts match between the current champions, the Don Callis family, Protostar, Kyle Fletcher, Mark Davis, and Kazuchika Okada, versus Jet Speed, Kevin Knight and Speedball Mike Bailey, and Mystico! Yes! Lucha Libre! I love Mystico. I love his entrance alone. It's in, I think it's in Tampa. I forget where Revolution is, but someone told me it's not far from Mexico, so the entrance is going to be insane. This is obviously technically a rematch. I think they're going to have Don Callis family still win, but the sequences you're going to get from Kevin Knight with Okada and Fletcher, and Speedball with Kevin Knight and Fletcher, with Kevin Knight and Speedball and Okada and Fletcher, frankly, and you've still got Mystico in there. This match is going to fuck. This is a sleeper match. Like, it's a sleeper match where no one's expecting a lot of this, but it's really going to fucking just... I think it's going to be really fun. I don't know how long you give it. I hope they give it enough time for Mystico to shine, because it feels like that's what this match is designed, to get a good pop for Mystico, frankly, and I'm not against that at all. I just think... Jesus, honestly, just fucking go for it. Mark Davis is going to shine here too, by the way. He's been on a run of a fucking lifetime. I'm really happy for the guy, and he's really earned it. But Fletcher doesn't disappoint. Neither does Okada, neither does Speedball, neither does Kevin Knight, and neither does fucking Mystico. None of these guys disappoint. This feels like a sleeper match of the night. It's not going to be match of the night. Again, I'm going to say this probably for everyone. We all know what's going to be match of the night. But Jesus, this will be really good. I didn't expect to look forward to this one as much as I am, but more thinking about it and explaining it, I'm really excited. This possibly look like third or fourth most anticipated match tonight, and that's for a stack card. It's below Big Boom AJ. No, it's not. But Jesus, it's high. I really can't wait for this. Mystico versus these three is just going to pop the fuck off. Mystico versus Kyle Fletcher, bro. Insane. So next, we have Swerve Strickland versus Brody King in a singles match to determine who is the most dangerous man in AEW. This should have had a stip. This should have had a stip, 100%. It feels like the fact that this didn't have a stip because most matches are stipulated so far makes sense. If you're going to do the most dangerous man, it feels like it should have been no hold bars. It's made sense. I think they're going to have Swerve win here, but I don't even know. I think you got to have Swerve here because of the heel turn and everything like that. But I feel like Brody King's... this is a hard one to call. I feel like it's... If you think about it with your normal logic print, it makes sense with Swerve to win. But how over Brody is, it feels like AEW's a company that will reward that. So it's like... Then will they give it to Brody? I don't know. I think they should, and I think they could. It's just... It depends what the plan is with Brody. Honestly, they could do this as a draw. They could do this as this DQ. I don't know. This feels like a very rock and a hard place. It doesn't hurt anyone who loses it. It hurts Swerve more, and it kind of stops Brody's momentum going forward. But I feel like Swerve's the one who gains more from it just gets Swerve back to a point with the heel turn, makes it more interesting. But Brody's on a run, so it's very hard. It's very hard to call this one. I think Swerve wins. I think the match will be fun. Again, I hope they won't go a bit brutal with it because I feel like that's necessary for the most dangerous man type of match, frankly. But then you've also, I think it should have had a no hold bars. I think you frankly could build a sequel to this easy. Have a bit of a not a death match, but a bit more of a brutal match. If Swerve wins, he has to beat the fuck out of him, and that's the big thing for me. He has to beat the fuck out of Brody here. Can't be easily looked at. So this match is going to be really fun. I think this will be I think this will be a big meaty portion of the show. I'm not against that, but it should be a great match. It really should. And honestly, this one has to show some colour. Has to me. Has to have some blade. So we have Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron, the Babes of Wrath, against Megan Bayne and Lena Cross for the AEW Women's Tag Team titles. Obviously, Willa and Lena having the match previously of her them two against each other for the TBS belt. I mean, they have to have Willow and Harley drop the belts here. I've said this for weeks. To Megan Bayne, I don't know. Again, Penelope's injured, so it fucking sucks. But these belts were made for Megan and Penelope, and obviously now with Lena Cross in it makes the most sense. If these don't drop here, I don't know what does. I don't know when they do. It just, they need to save this division in a way. Not that it's completely cooked. It just needs that reignation. This needs to happen for me. Has to happen. And honestly, it gives you one bit more focus on the TBS belt, which is very important. So if you have Willow defend the TBS belt, but then drop the tag titles, gives you a bit more forward because Megan Bayne could challenge. Gives it. This makes sense to me, and it feels like it has to happen. It feels like not a non-negotiable, but like if they don't do this, it's like why the fuck should I care? Frankly, right? So either way, I think the match should be fine. The Babes I'm just not into the women's tag scene. I'm not. Hopefully, it is a good match. If they do drop the belts, but I'm just not into it. So I think if they do win the Megan Bayne and Lena Cross, I'll be happy. So because we can get some more interesting dynamics, more in the division, but I hope they can at least do something more interesting to me than what Willow and Harley have. No disrespect, I like Willow and I really like Harley. I think Harley's improved a hell of a lot. It's just, let's just, get something out of this because it feels like it's just not been working. Not for me, anyway. But the match, I hope it doesn't take too much time. And I normally don't say that, but I feel like we've seen this match very, very frequently, so it doesn't really this could be on 0 hour, frankly, and that's not a disregard. It just could, because we've seen this match a lot, so either way, I hope Willow and Harley lose this one. I think that's very clear. So, we have our AEW Tag Team titles between FTR and the Bucks. Now, when this was announced, I was kind of like, I don't really want to see this again. I feel like we've seen it a lot of times. I'm more into it because of just how the build's been. I think the build's been good, FTR attacking the Bucks as family. FTR just being on the run of a century, having that match against the Rascals, which was excellent. And then the Bucks are just the Bucks. I think the match is going to be great. You know what FTR versus the Bucks is going to be like. I hope they go a bit more with it. I hope they have a little more stand out to it. But I think the match will just be automatically great. I think we all can expect that. I think the big call here is I think FTR win. I do. I think FTR win here. I think that kind of cements a thing between the Bucks. I don't think the Bucks need to be tag champs. I think they're going to go down the trios route with Kenny. eventually. The main thing for me is the match will be great. Stokely's in it. I don't give a fuck. Stokely's the best thing about this. But either way, I think this will be really fun. I do. I'm looking forward to this one more than I was going into it because of the build. So that's really cool. I think the big thing for me is I think Edge and Christian return here. Cope and Christian. I do. I think FTR will win here, and then at least the lights go out or some shit, and then, here, you think you know me or whatever. I think it has to happen, or just Christian maybe, because it feels right now. It feels like I believe Cope's been fit for a while. It doesn't feel like it's been this long without him, and then you've still got Christian, who was fine anyway, I think. So either way, and you've got Nick Wayne back in Ring of Honor, so it feels like the right time to strike. All the pieces are aligned, and obviously if they do the Bucks versus FTR, it can build to All In. Not the Bucks versus, sorry, Cope and Christian versus FTR for tag titles, have the winner of the All In. There you go. That just seems very logical. But the match itself should be fun. I think. Can he return after this? I don't know, to reunite with the Bucks, maybe. But Cope and Christian, I feel like, is a very safe bet. But if it doesn't happen, I'm not going to be mad. I just feel like that is something I not expect, but I think it is very possible. So next we have one of the fucking meaty matches of the night. Not the match of the night. It possibly could be, but it ain't for me so far on paper. We have Jon Moxley versus Konosuke Takeshita. No time limit for the Continental Championship. This, it will fuck beyond belief. This I would have this go the hour. I would, or around the hour. I would. I've got no problem with that. Moxley versus Takeshita's going to cook anyway. Moxley's been on the form of his fucking life. Takeshita's been on the back of his best year, and frankly the best wrestler in the year last year in the world. So I think this match will be phenomenal. You're gonna expect that. Everything about this build's been spot on. Everything with Moxley, it's gonna be great. I think Takeshita wins. I feel like that makes sense. I feel like it progresses more with Takeshita. He could do a bit more. Moxley can do whatever the fuck he wants, bro. But I feel like if you have Take win, you can build Takeshita and Okada at All In for the unification belt, which makes sense. And you've still got Kyle there too to do a lot with Kyle. So I feel like this what makes sense. I think, do we get the face turn at Takeshita after the match? Maybe, but I don't think so. I feel like that's going to come after. But I think Takeshita wins. I do. I just think that's to make more sense, but I think this isn't the end of the Death Riders versus Don Callis. I think they're going to do Anarchy in the arena at Double or Nothing, so this makes sense. But either way, this match is going to fucking be unbelievable. The build's been excellent, everything about it. I think Takeshita wins, but I think the match possibly is match of the night. But for me, there's another match that takes the cake. But either way, this one of my most anticipated matches of the night. And it's built every week. The Moxley and Continental runs has been 10 out of 10. It will deliver, and it's just going to be incredible. Take note, this is one of the matches to definitely keep your eye on. Going to be great. Next, we have our Women's World Title match between Tekla and Chris Statlander. Now, I'm filming this before, it's best 2 out of 3 falls before it starts. I'm filming this before Collision airs on Saturday. So, don't know where that's going to go. I don't think there'll be any changes. But I think, as a match, it'll be fun. I think this one have a bit of meaty time to it. I think the matches between Tekla and Stat have been great anyway. It's very similar to the Moxley match in a sense. I think, for me, I can't stress this enough, you gotta have Tekla retain. You gotta back it. You gotta back her reign, because there's so much charisma that's just oozed from her since she's won that belt. It makes the most sense. I just think it has to happen. I love Statlander. Statlander's one of the best women's wrestlers in the world. It's just, Tekla has to win. Has to win. Because it's just, there's more there. There's definitely more there. Like, you're not going to just limit Tekla's world title to that, and hopefully they push her after the win. The match should be great. The match should be phenomenal. But best 2 out of 3 as well will fucking really help this match. I'm talking 30 minutes, 45-minute time limit for this one. But I think this match could be really fun. It's definitely going to be the best women's match on the show for me. It's not really a lot, which is another problem. But I feel like as a match, I think Tekla's going to win, but I think the match itself will just impress. But I don't know. I think it's always going to be the fair fall that steals the show. But Stat and Tekla have just had great matches anyway. I hope this one goes brutal. I hope Statlander does show a bit more of a darker side. Not a heel, but a bit more of a vicious side. I feel like that could be fun. I hope to God the Sisters of Sin are not there, by the way. That cannot happen. It probably will, but I hope not. Hopefully they get chased off by Harley and Willow, maybe, or even Thunder Rosa. But I think Tekla should win, and I hope Tekla wins. I really do. I'm very certain on that. So we're going to talk about the matches of the night. Most likely, we've got Bandido versus Andrade. This is going to fucking tear the house down. If you don't expect this to be match of the night, what the hell is wrong with you? The biggest question is, does it live up to Dorado and Andrade tonight? I haven't even seen that match yet, but Jesus, that's a high bar. This is going to be incredible. Incredible. Lucha Graps. Andrade's on a fucking tear right now. Bandido's just on another level since he's returned from injury. Everything about this screams banger. Match of the night. Possibly match of the year. Everything about it screams it. I think personally, Bandido wins the call. I don't give a fuck who wins, bro. I really don't. The match itself's gonna speak to it. Give this at least 30. Please, just give this no time limit. I don't give a fuck. Bro, this could main event if this is my company, this would be main eventing. Jesus, this cannot not be stressed enough. This is easily the most anticipated match of the night. When they announced it, I still can't believe the way they announced it. They had Bandido basically latch on to a fucking Brody King saying he wants a match against Swerve. And he goes, I want a match too. And then he just fucking Andrade. Bro, it's a dream match. It's genuinely, no word of a lie, a dream match. I'm not even, like, I want to be into more lucha. I do. And I'm trying to get into that. It's just CMLL is kind of hard to get into for me. But Jesus, everyone I've seen of what I follow a lucha and try and get into it says this is a very big dream match for lucha. This'll fuck beyond belief. Possibly easily for me. I've got hopes of match of the year here. I do. Match of the night definitely has to. I think it has to be. I feel like I want to sound a little less forceful, but Jesus, I'm expecting a lot, and I don't think that's unreasonable because this has magic written all over it. This is easily the match tonight of all of them. I have to recommend to everyone. This will be incredible. This is going to be godly. A religious... bro, if you're not taking, like, any sort of like, pleasure in just the names Bandido versus Andrade, this just ain't for you. This is insane. If you're new to AEW here, this will fuck beyond belief. Keep your eye out for this one. Most anticipated match by far. Finally, kind of getting over my main event to the main event. We have MJF versus Hangman in a Texas death match for the AEW World Championship. Now, if Hangman loses this, he cannot challenge for the AEW Men's World title again. Now, very, very much going for the Cody Rhodes angle from a few years ago. Not that I'm not looking forward to this, by the way. I'm very much looking forward to this. I love a Texas death. I love Hangman. I love MJF. And I like their matches between each other. I think this works. I think they're going to have Max win. I think they are going to have Max win. I think they're going to go for the Cody angle that they should have went with. I think Hangman's going to lose. It's going to be like, oh, fuck. But then he's just either going to turn heel or just deny the challenge from the world title. Some shit's going to go down. It really is. I don't know what we do for this. I don't know what goes further. I think the match will be great. I think that's kind of a solid bet between these two. I think Max and I think MJF is going to get the shit beaten out of him. It's going to remind me of Bryan versus Max, where Max gets the shit beaten out of him essentially, but somehow manages to scrounge away to getting this not essential like robbery, but he's gonna sneak it over Hangman if anything. And in a Texas death, I think a lot of people, it's too lined up for Hangman to win. That's the thing, right? That's what makes sense, and it's such a Max thing to do to win this. I think it's going to cap up. I think it's going to end on a really exciting note for the Revolution pay-per-view. I really do, because you're going to sit there and be going, what the fuck, where do we go? And that's what they want to do. I think this is easily, I don't think it's the easiest call, but it's the one, since the announcement, it's like, oh yeah, Hangman's losing, which is fine. If Hangman won here, I'm not against that at all. I think that'd be a great call. I like Hangman, because there's a lot of stuff you can do with it, but it makes more sense to have MJF hold the belt for a tiny bit longer, just to enhance the character. Overall, I think this match will be great. I don't think it'll be match of the night because we've just talked about Bandido versus Andrade, for fuck's sake. But it should be great. It's gonna burn that. I physically burn the house down, maybe. Oh, but either way, this could be great. It could revitalize Hangman's heel run again. But either way, I'm looking forward to this a lot. I think it's going to cap off a great show. And I'm going to say this right now. At the end of the match, I think Max is going to retain. I think the lights are going to go out. I think Ospreay retains here. I do. I think that's quite a... Not a wild call. I think there's two big people that could retain here. I think you'd have Ospreay retain, which is a very likely call for how much they've been teasing Ospreay. Or touch wood, Jay White. Jay White has to return sooner rather than later, and it feels like the guy's earned the main event push straight away, more than anyone. But it feels like it's Ospreay. It feels like Ospreay returns now, gets in for the Owen, and goes from there. But I feel like this is the time for Ospreay to return, face off Max. They've got the history. Obviously, he's a friend of Hangman. It makes the most sense in the world. I think this definitely. I think Ospreay's really on the cards, and honestly, I'm really happy about that. I love Will Ospreay. I've missed him like fuck. So either way, I'm gonna cap off an excellent night. But I think Ospreay returns and really gets everyone excited again, because who the hell doesn't love Will Ospreay? What a wrestler, and what a match this is gonna be, by the way, and what a pay-per-view it's gonna be. So yeah, that's my full thoughts and predictions on the AEW Revolution pay-per-view. A bit earlier than usual. I might just put this out on Saturday night or Sunday morning. I don't really... So regarding the returns of the matches, I think Bandito versus Andrade is going to be match of the night. I think I've made that very clear. Moxley versus Takeshi is going to be excellent. I'm really looking forward to the trios match between Mr. Cohen Jet Speed versus Don Callis family. MJF versus Hangman, obviously. Tekla has to retain. There's a lot of stuff I'm really looking forward to. Even Swerve versus Brody doesn't have a lot of meat in it in terms of interest, but it could do a lot for me. The big things, obviously, I think that on the 0 hour, I think the Battle Royal, you're going to get some returns. Possibly a Wardlow. I think that's my bet for that one. Wardlow's going to return. I think Cope and Christian makes sense to retain here. I feel like that doesn't really need that much explanation. They obviously got taken out by FTR. They come back, kind of bring that out to All In, win the titles there, hopefully. But then the big one is Ospreay. I think Ospreay returns. I think it makes sense. First big pay-per-view of the year. First big thing on Now My AEW. A lot of people are going to be getting into it. Ospreay's being a big interest for AEW. Him return makes a great lick of sense to me. I feel like this Ospreay return is my big shock pick. I don't know if it's a shock pick. I think a lot of people are going to predict Ospreay. I feel like it lines up too well. Either way, I think Hangman loses, but Ospreay returns. That's my big takeaway. But, bro, I'm getting Bandito versus Andrade. I couldn't give a shit. It's insane. So yeah, that's my predictions. What's yours below? What's going to be your match of the night? It's probably going to be Bandito versus Andrade. What are you expecting? What are you looking forward to? And just give me overall your predictions, thoughts, whatever about this show before it happens. This is a very exciting time for AEW fans. Make sure you watch it on either myaew.com, Triller, or even the Hush Hush website. Shh. But either way, this is going to be great. Hope everyone really enjoys the show.